No, can you please off and on the camera once again?
Um, yes, I will. I've turned it off and now I'm turning it back on.
Oh,
Am I up there?
no, it's showing a
Hmm,
blank screen.
very interesting. Um, what do we do? Because it's on from here, and I did the test earlier. That, so can I talk without the screenshot over here?
Yeah,
Without the, yeah?
yes.
Okay, but so they'll be able to see my presentation, but they can't see me. Is
Yes,
that
yes,
correct?
correct.
All right, so let's start.
Yeah, before starting, I want to introduce you to our audience.
Yes.
Romana is a seasoned HR leader with 20 years of experience across multiple industries, specializing in HR strategy, executive coaching, organizational development, and change management. Recognized as a top consultant in Pakistan, she has received awards for her work in neuro leadership and change management. With an honors degree in leadership and business coaching and PCC certification, she focuses on personal and professional growth, stress management, and cultural transformation. That was a great bio, Romana, and the stage is all yours.
Oh, wonderful. Can everyone see the presentation now?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Good afternoon, everyone. So happy to be here. I'm afraid you can't see me at this point in time because there's a flaw, like all humans, there's a flaw in the camera. Apologize for that, but hopefully we'll be able to transmit the ideas that we're looking at with you. What I would like to talk about today is, first of all, let me share with you a very quick snippet. And I like this because I think it encapsulates life as we know it today, and how we want to approach it. So, the opportunities, the beauty of life, the dreams that we all have individually, the challenges we face, the duties we have to complete. And most of all, to me, it is also about the game of life, and we need to play it. Now, if you recollect, when we were younger, we loved playing games with our friends, at least I did. And the highlight of every day was to go out to the park or join a group of friends and play all kinds of games, some silly, some not so silly, some serious, some not so serious. But somewhere along the line, as we grew older, we lost that zest for the games. We were so inundated with the environment, the responsibilities, making a living, um, playing grown up, that we forgot that there is a zest to life that we still need to experience as we move along. So, what I'm sharing with you next is me in 1994. The year 1994 was a particularly traumatic one for me because I went through so many personal traumas, such as being broke financially, not being able to meet my regular expenses. I was in a dead end job. My relationships were sour, to say the least, and the few friends I had isolated them because I was wallowing in misery at that point. And I had put on 20 pounds. One day I woke up and I realized that I'm just wearing large and extra large. Not that there is anything wrong with that, by the way. It is how you accept yourself. Because I didn't accept myself in that way, it created unhappiness, hopelessness, and all of these factors that you see up there. As a coach, when I talk to my clients, a lot of them resonate with these emotions. All of us at one point or another has been there and felt the I'm not good enough syndrome, or have neglected self-care because we were so caught up in doing other things. our relationships in a dilemma, questioning yourself and your presence in life and saying, why me? Why does this have to happen to me? I'm as good as the next person if you feel that positive vibe. But most of the time, with any one of these elements as an influx into your mind, you will think to yourself, maybe I'm not as good enough as the rest of them. Maybe they are better, or they're wiser, or they're smarter, or they're more beautiful. So I went through all of these emotions until I realized that there is a specific set of thoughts and emotions that I want to move towards. So, what did I want to move towards? And these have all, by the way, been academically studied, verified, and in a positive being of the self and self identity. These are strongly associated with the human nature. Now, does this mean that we will get to all of these elements? The answer is no. We'll never probably be perfect at all of these thought processes. For example, being purposeful. What is my mission in life? What am I here for? What do I want to move towards? Being joyful. Am I attaining joy from the smaller pleasures of life? That cup of coffee in the morning that is absolutely wonderful, that sunset that I am watching, but really not appreciating because I am thinking of the next chore that I have to complete. That book that I want to read, but I'm not doing it because I find that I don't have the time for it. Now, we tend to go through all of these emotions, and the self happiness, therefore, that we derive from living a positive life is diminished. And we want that. We want all of these very badly at some stage or the other. So, through the different phases of your life, you will try to reach out to a few of them. With my clients, I tend to focus on 2 to 3 elements that they are actually seeking, because it is difficult to say I will be doing all of these together. So focus on the ones that are most important to you at this point of your life, master them in the way that makes you happy, and then you move on to others that you want to look at. The beauty of this model is that all of these emotions are in some way or the other interconnected. So, the holistic picture that I want to convey to you is that if you are, for example, giving, then you are also making yourself happy. If you are confident, you are also focused. If you are peaceful, you are also calm. So, whereas each one of these represents a thought or an emotion, they are also interconnected, meaning that one has a profound effect on another emotion or thought. So, that's good news for all of us. How do we get there? How do we move forward to bring these elements into our life? So, the journey of the holistic life that we want to talk about today consists of 3 fundamental elements: the mind, the body, and the spirit or the soul. Now, when you think about these factors, we already know a lot about them. I spoke to a colleague of mine the other day, and he said to me, well, what is so difficult about having a good body, having a good mind? For a good body, you eat well, you sleep well, and you make certain you are not binging when you're watching your Netflix dramas or movies. And it seems simple enough, but there are some techniques that we need to look at when we're talking of the mind, for example. Now, the mind has and I'm not going to go into the jargon of it or the anatomy of the mind. I'm going to make this as simplistic as possible because I believe that simple is better most of the time. So, our mind consists of about over 6 billion neurons that are responsible for your actions, your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions. These 6 billion neurons connect with one another for action orientation, and they are even able to change the circuitry of the brain. Now, what does that mean? It means that when we develop a habit and we follow through with it constantly, the brain circuitry adapts to that and it is hardwired into the brain. The good news is that through experiences and through behaviors, the circuitry can be changed. So earlier on, we heard elements like, well, I can't learn anymore because I'm older, or that learning stops at when you're 10 or 12 or 17. And with the advances that neuroscience has made today, that is not correct. You can learn throughout life. How? By changing the circuitry of your brain. And the way you change the circuitry of the brain is experiences and then behavior. Behavior modifies the natural reluctance of the brain. Your brain doesn't want to change. Um, we don't want to change habits. Why? Because the brain likes to be in a state of homeostasis, which is as is. And we don't want that to continue. We want it to change. So, therefore, change becomes a little difficult because not only are you overcoming your own paradigms, you're also overcoming the paradigms that your mind has established for yourself. But is it easy to do? It's not difficult. It depends upon the desire that you have and the self discipline that you execute to bring about a new behavior. So, in short, the mind is complex, it is fascinating, it is a subject that is being studied constantly, and we have made so much research in the study of the brain that these elements are very encouraging for the regular layman or the regular laywoman at this point in time. Let's talk about the body. The body is simpler. The body is your health, the kind of food that you eat, the diet plan you follow in the event that you want to be a healthier human being, the fact that we want to exercise. Now, exercise may not just be for the body, it has a therapeutic effect on the mind. If you recollect, we said earlier that all these factors, the mind, the body, and the spirit, are interlinked. So when you exercise, there is a release of transmitters, chemicals in the body that make you feel good, that make you feel better. And do we want to feel good? Absolutely. This is our objective in life, to feel good, to be happy with ourselves. So, exercise, for example, will create that environment for you internally where you are encouraged, where you are motivated, where you want to do more of it. I personally don't like going to the gym. I am into walks. I love nature trekking. I do group walks. I want applications where I'm walking with a number of people. So, whatever works for you, I think the important thing is to realize what is it that appeals to you and taking that small step towards getting better. Regular checkups, for example, how many of us actually move forward and get those quarterly or 6 monthly checkups done to make certain that everything is working as it should be? Now, none of this precludes the appearance of a disease or some ill befitting element in your body. But what you're doing is you're doing your best to circumvent any such dilemmas. So the body is pretty relatively simple. It is about taking care of your body, your health, your exercise regimen, and all of these have a profound effect on the mind. The mind has an effect on the body. Being hopeful, for example, about getting better, that's therapeutic from the mind to the body. And the third element is the spirituality. Now, what is spirituality? It is about the purpose and the belief that you hold about this life that you're living. It is about transcendence towards a being outside of yourself. It could be the universe, it could be God. It depends upon the faith that you're following. A lot of profound learnings have come out from religions and the Stoic philosophy, for example, of living. So, the philosophies of spirituality, as they affect you, move you in a direction beyond your religion, beyond what you believe in. It is understanding that there is a higher universe out there, and you are meant to be a part of this universe. You are here for a purpose. You are unique in your own self, and therefore you have a right to be here. Everything has a purpose, and your purpose in life is what you are on the road to discover. We talk about how you can get there. So we've discussed so far the different fundamental emotions that can besiege you and bring you down, overwhelm you. We have looked at what state you want to be in to come out of the negativity that has prevailed. We've said there are three fundamental factors that can affect your well being: the mind, the body, and the spirit. So let's talk about how we can do this, because I think a lot of us realize that, these are factors that play a part in my life, but how do I get there? The first thing I would say is the positive mindset, the mindset that says, I can and I will do this. So the mind talk becomes extremely important. The mind doesn't tell you what to do unless you tell it what to do. So it all starts with you. You need to dictate to the mind, this is how I want to be. This is what I want to do. Now, please recollect that there are no easy answers. There are people that I have counseled, that I have coached, who've had tremendous traumas in their lives. There has been teenage abuse, there has been childhood abuse, there has been lack of confidence because there was no unconditional love. But at this point in your life where the past is behind you, you need to make a choice. We need to make a choice. Do we want to move forward and not look at the past? Because looking behind you is going to deter you from the way forward. So, this is what your positive mindset has to deliver to you. You dictate to the mind what you want to do, where you want to go. And the mind, in turn, then assists you in moving in that direction. As an example, if I botch up a report and I come out and say, you know what, I am so bad at this, I am not going to get better, I will always look bad in front of these people when I come back to them again and again, my mind will accept it and say, you know what, you are bad. So the next time I go to make a presentation, the mind will agree with me because the mind wants to stay happy with me. The mind is my friend. So the mind says, you know what, you believed this the other day, you will continue believing it. So I may botch up the presentation again. The question then becomes, how do I change this mindset? Tell your mind positive things. Tell your mind you are confident. Tell your mind you believe in yourself. Tell your mind, I am good. I have a right to be here. And I will do everything to prove that I have a right to be here by reaching my dreams and my desires. The healing from the past. A lot of times you will hear people saying, well, I can't get over what I've gone through. But if you, the choice has to be yours. You can either linger on with the past, or you can find ways to remedy it if you can, or move forward so that you become the person you want to be, the being of life, the zest of life. You will never be able to encounter that to a great extent unless you let go of the past that hurts you. I'm not saying that you can obliterate this from your mind. What you can do is minimize the effect it is having on you, because you are you at this point in time. You are unique. You have reached this stage in life by going through errors and mistakes and horrible things in the past, and you have learned from them. And the learning is what will help you to move forward in a positive way. So we are what we believe. If you believe you are strong, you will be strong. If you believe you are kind, you will have behaviors that show and exhibit that kindness. You will not be unkind all the time. There may be instances where you deviate, but that is a mistake you will learn from, as I said earlier. How do you become healthy and have a clear, healthy focus towards yourself? You obviously get those regular checkups. You change your habits. Now, as I mentioned earlier, habits are difficult to change because they are programmed into our mind, because the mind likes staying in that comfort zone. When you change, when you want to change, the stress that comes with it, the resistance that the mind puts up, your mind will say, you know what, look, you're going through this stress. Is there really a need to do this? So sleep in tomorrow. Don't go. You want to look for that other job? You know what? You're fine where you are because you don't want to change at this particular point in time. So unless you change that action to relive what you are doing, things will not change at this point. Reach out. Reach out to friends, family. Relationships become so important. When I was going through bad patches, I realized that I had too much pride, too much ego to reach out to people who could have thrown me a lifeline. It's like being in a well and you need somebody to pull you up. And if you don't say it, if you don't communicate it, if you don't reach out, if you don't make noise, how will you ever get out of it? Reaching out is not a bad thing. It is not something that reduces you in life. It is something that is a necessity. And science has proven that those relationships, social, family, are so intrinsic to our well being that we have to hold on to them. The self awareness. If you're not aware of what is making you unhappy, if you are not aware of where you want to be from here, you will never be able to remove the impediments. So, self awareness becomes a concept that says, I am aware of my existence today. I have a being that I like. I am moving towards a higher self. In order to do that, these are the obstacles. When I talk of obstacles, I'm not talking of um, people in your life towards whom you have a responsibility. I am not talking about letting go of parents or family because they are holding you back in some way or the other. You will have to figure out what best works for you, where you have to let go if things are negative and they are not going in the direction that you want them to go. I keep saying over and over again to people, my clients, my employees, your choices, you will have to live with them. Today, you can make choices because there is so much knowledge out there. There are so many ways you can make a difference to yourself and in the lives of people around you. To not do it would be quite an irresponsible element. We then move towards spirit. The spirit is not the ritual of religion. The spirit is a firm belief that says, what is my purpose in this life? Am I here for a reason? And almost every time we talk about, yes, the uniqueness of you is the purpose that you are here. You are adding something in this population, the 7 billion and above population. There is a reason for you to be here. Now, the reason may not be following a religious dogma, it just could be that you're here. If you're here for a reason. It makes more sense to accept that. It makes one happier when one accepts it and moves on to create more resilience. Resilience refers to the ability to bounce back because I have the faith in myself, in my surroundings, in my abilities to be able to get over a hurdle or a challenge. So when I move forward 2 days later, I will not look back and say, oh my God, I'm still shell shocked. I cannot move. My movements are withering. And how do I move beyond this? That is the factor of resilience. Can resilience be grown within you? Absolutely. There is nothing in terms of your internal mechanisms of thinking that you cannot change. That is the beauty of living and this life. Think about your lives and the fact that you have moved forward, done things differently, changed your own perceptions, dropped some of the myths that were engulfing you. This is how I've always done it. That's a myth that you've dropped. You've changed the way to do that because you believed it was more productive. The laptops, the mobile devices, home appliances, they've all helped you change. So if the external environment can help you to change at times, imagine how much more power you have in the internal environment that you carry. Now, take a breath, um, take a breath, and what I want you to do is sit up straight, good posture, shoulders down. You put your hands on your knees. You take a deep breath. You hold it in for 4 seconds and you release through your lips. So you inhale through the nose, rising up, and you exhale through your mouth. Another technique that I use for breathing exercises is put one finger, assume the same position, one finger on one nostril, breathe in through the other nostril, breathe out from the nostril that you had your finger on. So you will alternate in from one nostril, out from the other. What has this technique proven to show? It is for relaxation. It is for calmness. It is for drifting with your mind in a place that is good for you so you can visualize. Visualization, by the way, is another powerful technique to reach your dreams. So you're visualizing yourself to be in a safe spot. Maybe it's a forest filled with trees. Maybe it is in the middle of a lake, a smooth flowing lake. One client of mine wanted to have raging seas around her in this particular instance of breathing, which was fine. If that is what her visualization is, it is uniquely hers. So we move forward and say, bring to your mind what excites you, what image you want to work with, and then conduct breathing exercises. Like I said, they are for calmness, they are for relaxation, they are for motivation, and you can use them at any point through meditation, mindfulness, or just sitting in a corner in your office, take a 5-minute break. This is especially good for you when you want to develop that calm interior where you can respond and not just react. So many instances when people want to look at you and they want to say things and they want to criticize. How do you let go of that? Take a deep breath, pause for a minute, then respond with who you are. Not responding on their level because that is not showing your character. You respond on your terms whenever you want to respond and with whatever you want to respond. One thing I want to leave you with, and I want you to join me in saying these affirmations out loud. So, wherever you are, whatever country you are in, whatever nationality you are in, these could be fundamental ways of recognizing who you are and what you bring to this table of life. I am unique. I am here now. I own my space. I forgive myself for any past mistakes that I've made. I am leaning forward to take the best out of this life. I am stronger today because I am changing. I am different. I'm adopting different ways of doing things. I have a strong mind that I am going to dictate to as to where I want to be. And I am staying true to myself, my belief system, my values. You will never let anyone tell you that a wrong is a right or a right is a wrong unless you believe in it. So you have your own moral compass and you will be following that for your own identity. I think we're almost out of time. Um, do we have any questions? I'm sorry, I can't hear the host. Do we have any questions? I have some questions in chat over here, so maybe I can address them directly.
Yes, Romana,
Um,
that was an interesting topic. And we have a few questions from our audience, Romana.
yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. How can conscious breathing impact your daily life and decision making?
Well, I'll tell you how it does that. The breathing seeps into your consciousness and becomes a part of you. And when your mind is clearer, your decision making is more to the point and you can solve problems better because you're rationalizing them better. Most of the time, when we are in a turmoil or in a traumatic environment, we are allowing the environment to affect our thinking, our way of doing things. We are stressed out. The breathing techniques and other calm meditations can bring you to a point where you are clarifying your mind, you are going to a space where it is all good, and therefore that will help the decision making, the troubleshooting, and the problem solving because now you have somewhat of a cleaner state. You're not taking any negative criticism directly. You are saying, you know what, your opinion, I'm letting go of it. So that calmness has an effect on your problem solving thinking.
Okay. That was a great answer. And thank you for your valuable time, Romana.
Oh, not at all. Can I just please add here that I'm on LinkedIn? If any one of you has a specific question or would like assistance with anything as part of this group, I'd be more than happy to assist you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
And can I ask you one more question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, how can I build new habits that align with my long-term goals?
Ah, interesting question. How do I develop new habits that align with my long term goals? To do that, you will first have to step back to define your long term goals. what are your long term goals associated with who you are? So, as an example, if I want to develop an as grand master of coaching, example, I'm just using that example, then I want to see how habits that I have today are affecting that. So, in coaching, for example, you have a number of habits like listening and empathy and motivation and addressing the client's issues in a deep dive kind of a thing. So, then I will have to develop the habit that is associated with that particular goal. I just named four of them. So, to develop a listening habit, then I will have to read up on it. I will have to talk to people that can advise me on whether I'm listening well or not. And it's, you know what, it's pretty simple. We feel at times that, oh my, it's such a complicated web of things to do. It is not. If you just focus on two to three at a time and address them, you'll realize that when with that habit change, you then can move on to other things. It doesn't have to take years, it doesn't have to take eons. It has to be a simple formula that works for you, but you have to understand what it is that you need to do.
Yeah. Thank you for your answer, Romana. And thank you so much for your valuable time here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
We have chosen an interesting topic and we
Yeah,
have
well,
gained so much of
thank
fun.
you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.